Okay, well, while everything is melting away on my face, I am actually going to go ahead and start to bring down a little bit some of the shaded areas. At least I'm going to leave the brows alone. Now when you wet your beauty blender, you don't want it horrifically wet, and again, because I've broken out a lot recently, I always spray my beauty blender when I'm done with it with alcohol, just to make sure nothing builds up in there. Okay, so I don't want to wipe it away, but I want to tone it down. So I'm going to go ahead and just lightly tone it down a little bit. And honestly, this area is going to end up with powder over it, so not too much. Right, so it's a tapping motion. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do with my concealer is the under eye area. Again, I usually use the kind of medium brown color, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to skip to kind of alternating between the second to the lightest and the brown. And yeah, I'm tapping. I don't want to wipe off my foundation, but I do concealer over foundation, and so once everything is blended out, I think it makes a prettier finished product. Because if I put the foundation over it, everything becomes kind of that same foundation color. So okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do the bridge in the nose. And I touch that area. So I'm just going to straighten that back up with some brown. Okay, so that's pretty close. We're done with the concealer now. Okay, so for my brows, I use the Hard Candy 132 Heatwave bronzer. And I use the Made You Look by Lex flat brush. Just lightly on the tips, and then we go over this lightly. And I realize that it's harder to see on this brow, so okay. Okay, and then slightly down the nose, up and on the forehead, and Okay, so next I'm using the CoverGirl True Blend in this shade of 6. It's this translucent sable powder. This is my contour color. I like to do the ears. And be careful because you can get a buildup there and it looks funky, so. Okay. This is it's really a no-name brush. I don't even know what number it is. But it's flat, it looks like that. It's got that blunted flat edge, you know, let's see. There we go. This is harder than I thought. There we go. Okay, so there we go. And this goes down the bridge of the nose to help set my concealer. Okay, let's move on to the eyes. This is the Pink Beige Cosmetics Concealer. I'm not even sure if they sell it anymore, but the yellow is a little bit too strong for this look, so. The goal here is to do a fairly dark eye. I know that you can use a black liner to help make the black blacker, but I don't want it exactly black. I want more of a brownish black. So I'm using the NYX Jumbo eye pencil. Color is dark brown. This doesn't have to be perfect. Thank God. But I have a hooded eye, so I want for this to go above the crease. And I want it to go not quite 3/4 of the eye, so maybe 2/3. And then I'm going to take the Made You Look by Lex. I call this the blending brush, but it could well be the eyeshadow brush anyways. And get that to smooth out a little bit. And again, my eye looks on myself personally always go a little beyond the corner of my eye there. So. I'm using the BH Cosmetics 28 color palette Smokey Eye Edition. And I'm going with the darkest black they have there. I wouldn't even really call it a black. I would say it's more of like a smoke or charcoal. I need a brown, so I'm going to switch over to the BH Cosmetics 28 color palette in neutral. I'm going to go with this. In person, I would call it a chocolate, like a milk chocolate. And I'm using the same brush that I used with the... I need a brown, so I'm going to switch over to the BH Cosmetics 28 color palette in neutral. I'm going to go with this. In person, I would call it a chocolate. Like a milk chocolate. And I'm using the same brush that I used with the charcoal black from the other palette. So the brown goes to the edge of the black, but not beyond. Not too much. And because I have a hooded eye, again, when they're open it looks like a big thing. But when I'm kind of at my stationery, it doesn't look that big. So if you don't have a hooded eye and you have a normal or standard eye without a hood, you want to go just slightly beyond the crease, just a tiny bit. Okay. I'm going to use a clean blending brush, and from that same neutral palette, I'm going to go with, I would call this maybe a champagne color. In real life. This is also in the neutral palette. It's kind of a pinky champagne color. Okay, so I'm a big fan of just a little piece of glitter right there that's going to make me crazy. I like to line the waterline on my eye, so This is the BH Cosmetics eyeliner in the color Onyx. Trying to make sure you can see this here. Now on this waterline, you can do this with, if you don't like sticking something in your eye directly, you can also do this with a push liner, but I'm okay with this. The other thing is, because the corners of the eyes are not lined, I didn't want to go all the way over with the waterline, so that's good to keep in mind. Okay, so I'm going to grab that jumbo pencil again. Okay, so again, this is the Made You Look by Lex shadow brush. I like to smudge out the eyeliner a little bit because the NYX products are really good, but when it gets warm, they do tend to travel slightly. So blending helps, and also setting them with a shadow, which is what I'm about to do, helps as well. My first color is going to be in the 28 color palette again, the Smokey palette. I seem to be working between those two today. There we go. I'm going to go back to that kind of a charcoal.